Hola chicos y chicas, our goal today is to go over possessive adjectives, adjetivos posesivos in Espanol. So we'll go over the rules of how to use them, what the 6 possessive adjectives are, and I'll show you a couple examples using them with some nouns. Alright, let's take a look at some possessive adjectives overview. So in the past, you may have used this little formula, noun plus de plus noun, to express who owns something. So like el libro de ella, so her book, or el libro de Olivia, Olivia's book, because there's no apostrophe s in Spanish. Well, now we're going to go over how to use possessive adjectives instead. So in English, those would be like saying his, her, my, etc. There's just a couple rules we have to keep in mind with these. They go before their noun, even though they're adjectives, and they have to agree with their noun in gender and quantity. And one thing that comes up every so often when we discuss these is what happens to articles. You cannot use both a possessive and an article together because it wouldn't make sense. So for example, it wouldn't make sense in English to say, my the book. You need to use either or. Either the possessive or the article, not both. It doesn't work. So you could say my book, perfectly fine. The book, perfectly fine. But my the book doesn't work. So these possessive adjectives that we're about to go over, get rid of the articles. You can't use them together like that. Okay, let's go over the actual possessive adjectives. So to say my in Spanish, you say me, no accents. And of course it could be made plural as well, so mis. To say your, so for one person, the same type of person you would use to with, we say tu, no accent, and the plural form would be tus. To say his or her or your, in the sense of usted, you would say su, and the plural form is sus. To say our, we say nuestro. Now because this one ends in an O, it could also end in A, just like adjectives that end in O typically could. And again, it can be also made plural. You all, so in Spain, plural, informal, so for a group of friends, we say vuestro. Again, this ends in O, so it can end in A, and it can be made plural. And lastly, their or your. In this case, your is referring to ustedes, so plural formal would be su, and the plural would be sus. You'll notice these last two on the bottom in the third person are the same, so you have to use other context clues to make sure you know who is actually possessing these items. So basically, as a recap, the owner decides which box from this chart to use. So for example, if I am the owner, I would use this box here, and you'll notice it corresponds to the yo form box on a conjugation table. The item, so whatever is owned, that's deciding the endings. So it decides, is it going to be plural or singular? So again, the owner decides the box, the item decides whether you need singular or plural, or in the cases of our and y'all's, the gender change as well, from O to A. Let's try a couple examples and put these into Spanish using the possessive adjectives we just saw. So my papers. Papers is papeles. Now that's plural, so I need to say mis papeles, my papers. His backpack. Backpack is mochila. For his, su mochila, his backpack. And mochila is singular, so is su. Our folders. Folders are carpetas. Now that is plural and feminine. So we're going to do the same to our adjective. Nuestras carpetas. Our folders. Their books. Books are libros. Their would be su, but because libros is plural, we add S to make it plural. Sus libros, their books. So, possessive adjectives, they're not too bad. They're pretty easy once you memorize them. So the steps here are you need to memorize what the possessive adjectives actually are and what they mean, and just the couple rules that go with them, like they go before the noun, you can't use articles with them, and that they have to agree with their noun in gender and quantity. So be careful, do the practice, and these will become simple and easy to use. Gracias. Buena suerte.